far from the madding crowd. Part 1. The Shepherd and the Star. The dawn came softly over the hills of Wessex, spilling gold across the green valleys and the thatched cottages that clung to the land like old memories. In that quiet countryside, where time seemed to move with the rhythm of the seasons, there lived a man named Gabriel Oak, a shepherd by trade and a dreamer by nature. Gabriel was not a man of grand fortune or striking beauty, but he possessed something far rarer, a heart steady as the soil beneath his feet. He worked the land from dawn to dusk, tending his sheep with care, saving every coin to one day buy his own small farm. He lived alone in a humble hut, and his joys were simple: the glow of the hearth, the bleating of lambs, the soft music of the wind over the downs. And then, one winter morning, he saw her, Bathsheba Everdene. She came riding across the field on a chestnut horse, her hair streaming behind her, her face alive with confidence and laughter. She rode without fear, her hands firm on the reins, her eyes bright with youth and pride. To Gabriel she seemed not a woman, but a flame, something wild and untamed, a spark of life against the calm of the countryside. He watched her pause by a gate, dismount gracefully, and adjust her hat with the self-possession of one who needs no help from any man. And then, as if drawn by instinct, she turned and met his gaze. It was a moment, brief, electric, that changed everything. Gabriel Oak, the humble shepherd, fell in love. He watched her ride away, and for days after, her image lingered, her laughter echoing faintly in his thoughts, her eyes glimmering like stars in the mist. He learned her name from a neighbor, Bathsheba Everdene, a young woman newly come to live with her aunt in the next parish. Within weeks, Gabriel's quiet longing turned into resolve. He bought a new suit, polished his boots, and went to her aunt's cottage one clear evening, his heart hammering like a blacksmith's forge. Bathsheba greeted him with polite surprise. She remembered him, the shepherd from the fields. He spoke awkwardly at first, then earnestly, as only a man of truth can speak. He told her of his small farm, his hopes, and his wish to share a life built on hard work and honest love. Her answer came gently but firmly. "I thank you, Mr. Oak," she said, her voice musical but distant. "You are a good man, and I respect you for it, but I do not wish to marry, not now, perhaps not ever. I value my freedom too dearly. I should like to be my own master." Gabriel nodded, though his heart cracked like thin ice beneath a step. She looked at him kindly, even sadly. "I would rather break your heart now than your peace later." And with that, she turned away, leaving him with the scent of wildflowers and the silence of rejection. Weeks passed. Gabriel returned to his flock, quieter now, but not bitter. He worked with renewed diligence, forcing himself to forget. But fate, that quiet weaver, had not finished with him. One cold night as he slept, disaster came. His young sheepdog, eager, untrained, drove his flock too close to the cliffs. Gabriel awoke to the sound of wind and terror. By morning, his entire herd had fallen, lost in the dark ravine below. His savings, his future, gone in a night. He stood at the edge of the cliffs, the wind cold on his face, and felt the full weight of ruin. With nothing left but his tools and his courage, Gabriel sold what little he owned and set out in search of work. Days passed, and his boots wore thin. He wandered through villages and across fields, offering his skill where he could. But work was scarce that season, and hunger grew sharp. Then, one morning, as he trudged along a country lane, he saw smoke in the distance. A fire on a farmstead. Without thought, he ran. The barn was ablaze, flames clawing toward the thatch. Villagers shouted helplessly, but no one dared approach. Gabriel snatched a ladder, climbed onto the roof, and fought the fire with the calm precision of a man used to danger. He threw water where it mattered most, directing others, saving what he could. When the smoke finally thinned, a young woman stepped forward, her face streaked with soot, her eyes wide with gratitude. It was Bathsheba Everdene. For a moment, neither spoke. Recognition dawned between them, and the air seemed to hum with old memory. "You again?" she said softly, her voice trembling just slightly. "By chance," he replied, though his heart knew better. "You've saved my farm," she said. He smiled faintly. "It seems fate wished me useful again." And so she hired him, Gabriel Oak, shepherd, to oversee her flocks and manage her fields. Bathsheba Everdene had inherited her late uncle's farm, a vast, thriving estate. She was now mistress of it all, determined to prove that she could run it as well as any man. Her pride and independence set tongues wagging across the countryside. Some admired her spirit, others whispered that a woman so proud was bound to meet her downfall. But Bathsheba cared little for gossip. She was her own master now, and the world, it seemed, lay open before her. For Gabriel, the arrangement was both salvation and torment. He served her faithfully, speaking little, keeping his heart hidden behind quiet strength. He admired her leadership, her beauty, her stubbornness, even as he knew that her eyes never once looked at him as they had that first day in the field. Yet still he stayed. When storms came, he stood beside her. When debts threatened, he found solutions. When she faltered, he steadied her hand. And though she never said it, Bathsheba trusted him more than anyone alive. But love, in the quiet fields of Wessex, was never simple. The winds of fate were already shifting, carrying toward Weatherbury 3 very different hearts, and the storm that would soon bind them all.